Welcome back to the channel, guys. Welcome back to a brand new episode on a Mercedes C-Class. So we're now going to get the engine in. What I'm going to do is pop the front wheels off. I've got it up on axle stands. I'm going to take the front bumper off, have a quick look round, give this thing a clean, and then we can get the engine out and look at getting it in. So with that being said, we'll get going. I'm going to get caught up on the axle stands at some point, but I wonder if just lowering it will give me enough.
Lovely sump pan.
Right, what do you want to do? Come down a bit more?
Well, I think we need to push it in.
All right.
Just holding it tight to one side. And across towards me a little bit. Okay. Auto gearbox has got to clear as well. If I can sort of...
Just remember, I am obviously on the axle stands now.
So I want to go like that. Yeah, if you lower it there.
Yeah.
Because I think, if you just quickly look, because I can't see.
Yeah.
Is that height, like this side of that rack?
Is now.
Right.
Just need to move them fuel pipes quickly.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like...
Or shall I get a jack and see if I can jack out the back?
I think we might just need to get one pump on the jack.
Right. Yeah. Is that any help?
I think we need to pump the engine up. Get that exhaust. Do you have a look?
Yeah, it's still going to need to go quite a way. But those stands are pretty much in the way.
That's better.
Yeah?
That's better, isn't it? Yeah.
Right, that's probably as far as we're going to go. Do you reckon? Try and lower it a bit?
Yeah, I'll try pushing on it at the same time. Oh, out. Hold on. Hold her. That's looking a bit better. Try that. Oh, that's got to go. Nice. Oh, that's a bit better.
Yeah?
Bit better. Slowly, a bit more. Oh, just got to push it. We could push it in from there. That might fall into the middle.
Right. Like that.
That's cool enough.
So that one's got to go, this has got to go down and then twist that way.
Yeah, this is, yeah, it's too far over this way.
Right. So I think the box wants to go that way. See what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I see, yeah. Okay. Yeah, cool.
Like that?
Yeah, okay. We're not far off there. We're going to slightly a bit too much, but that's okay. We lower it down slightly from there.
Yeah, that one's in.
And that one's pretty much in, isn't it? Probably a little bit.
Yeah.
Pretty much there, isn't it?
It'll find its way. We're making some really great progress with the car now. We did struggle a bit at first getting the engine in and getting the bolts to line up on the mounts, but we managed to get that sorted. I've been underneath and spent quite a lot of time under there, getting all of the exhaust connected up, getting all of the DPF pipes, pressure pipes and all of that stuff connected up. I've gone ahead and connected the gear linkage, all of the mounts for the gearbox as well, and various pipe work and bits and pieces like that. I've also managed to get the cooler on the front, this cover, some more of the cooling pipe work as well, and all of that sorted. We've popped the airbox on, new air filter and the ECU, put a little bit of oil in there for the minute. I need to top that up, replace the filter and swap out or fill the filter housing as well as swapping the filter out. What I'm going to look at doing now is putting the headlights in and then putting the front radiator assembly in, so that then we can get the vehicle filled up with coolant as well, make sure that it holds water. We don't seem to be leaking any oil from the engine, which is great so far. So yeah, we'll just keep going with this thing and keep getting that box of bits, or that pile of bits, that bit smaller. There you go. I have taken the time as well just to make sure that we've got no broken clips, and everything that had a cable tie around it in the right place has gone back in place, because I do like it when they're all as they were. They just, I think for me, they look so much better when they just go back factory. Just look like they were supposed to. It's now the next morning and we were losing the light last night, so I decided before finishing up that I would just tidy things away and just make sure everything was put back, just so that we can start afresh today. So we managed to get the radiator pack in and all of that plumbed in. So I'm now at a point where I'm going to start adding the coolant. I'm also going to add the power steering fluid. The front bumper has got to come back off because we've got to put things like the headlights in, do a few more checks and bits and pieces around the front. And I think I'll probably leave that off so I can check for leaks and stuff like that when it's running. We've also got to get back underneath and look at taking that oil pan off of the transmission. We want to swap out the seal, the transmission filter, and then we can pop the fluid back in there. And then hopefully that will be that boxed off. So what I'm going to do is carry on and get some more fluids in the car. We've now got the gearbox sump off, and we've got a rubber seal which goes around the edge, which we're going to replace. We've then got the filter assembly, and that just pops out the bottom of the gearbox. You've got a rubber O-ring that seals it up into the bottom of the chest, and then there's a little locator here, so it just pushes up into there. So we're going to go ahead and clean all of this pan out as well. You've got two magnets that sit at the back here that obviously capture any swarf and bits in the bottom of the gearbox there, so we're going to clean those off. And then also you've got a little plastic level bung. So from what I understand, when the gearbox is full, you can then undo that once you've got the gearbox to the right temperature. I think it's about 45-50 degrees on these for all of the bits to open up inside the gearbox, and then you should get a nice stream coming out to then drip, and then you're at the right level. I think there is also a dipstick on the back of these. I can't remember. On the later ones there isn't, there's just this style of checking the fluid level, but on the older ones you used to have a giant long dipstick that you could put down in the back there. So I'm going to clean this off, replace the filter, replace the seal as I just mentioned, pop all of that back in place. This is just held on with 6 bolts. If you are doing these, I would also recommend on the later gearboxes getting the bolts, because the bolts are really quite I'm not sure what material they're made from, but yeah, they're quite fragile, so I definitely recommend replacing those if you can get hold of them at the same time. Giving that a clean, got a nice fresh seal on there. We've got a new filter to pop in place. So I think I'm at a point now where I'm probably going to take the axle stands out, put the car down onto the floor so it's somewhat closer to level, and then I haven't put any of the fuel injectors or the injector pipes on, and I've also got the fuel pump in the tank disconnected as well. I'll pop the battery on, and then I think I'm going to try and turn it over and gain oil pressure before we try and attempt to start putting the injectors back in and then going for a first, proper start. I have just been into the back of the car and checked that the fuel pumps are still unplugged. So I'm just now going to put the negative terminal on the battery, because I didn't want that to start priming all of a sudden. Right, they're both tightened on. Let's see what happens. Got ignition. The battery's knackered. I'll go and get one with a set of jump leads. I'm just going to pop. I've left some little bits of cloth just in the top here. So I'm just pulling those out of the way. Right, and try again. There you go, we certainly sound like we got oil pressure now. We're not getting the ticking we were a minute ago. This car has got a starter lockout, so it will eventually stop turning over. I know that doesn't mean a great deal because I've poured loads of oil in there. But yeah, I guess what I'll do is I'll do that a few more times. I won't bother filming that bit, but I'll do that a few more times just to really make sure that we've got the oil circulated nicely, and then we can look at getting those injectors in. I've now checked that all the injector ports are nice and clean, and I've also just checked where the securing bolt goes in as well, just to make sure that they're clear. I do recommend just blowing all those threads out, because what you can do is get carbon build up or oil or diesel in there, and then you'll end up binding up the stretch bolt, and in some cases where they're full of carbon, I have had it where people have actually broken the bolts off. I also do recommend replacing those bolts as they are a stretch bolt. It's a good idea just to put new ones in there. So as you may remember, we did number these injectors when you took them out, or when we took them out, should I say. So we just got a new seal going onto there, and I've put some ceramic grease on them as well. And we're just going to pop each one down into the hole. There we go, we just got 4 of those new bolts, so I'm just going to put a tiny bit of oil on those, get them in. I'm going to look at trying to get these metal injector pipes in now before I do these up, because it may well be that I need to move the injector slightly just to accommodate for those. So I did mark these pipes as well. Just makes it a bit easier. When I first did this, I marked the injectors 1 to 4, and I think it's meant to be 1 to 4 that way. But luckily, where I've marked the pipes as well, it's just meant that the pipes have allowed me to match up what goes to where. So we've got all matching pipes and all matching injectors, if that makes any sense at all. So we go ahead and torque all of these down. That's those all set in. Now we can look at starting to do these up. Just got to try and access those two, so I'll pop the loom up a bit if I can. And we've got our leak off pipes. We just want to check that the rubber O-rings on those are all okay. We're just going to gently place them in. And they click in, and they've got that little tag that just locks them in place. They're all now clicked in nicely. Okay, think we're all good here. Now going to pop into the back of the car and put the fuel pump on. I'll probably, before I do that, just give it one more cycle with the key without any fuel, just to make sure that we've still got that good oil pressure there. So we've now popped a fresh battery in the camera because I really don't want to miss this bit. Could be really good, could be really bad. Might make for good viewing either way. What I'm going to do now is just turn the ignition back on, let the fuel system prime, because I've just plugged the fuel pump in the tank back in, and also the fuel level sensor as well. And then once that's primed, we turn the key and see what happens. Right, so I can just hear that pumping the fuel away now, coming up to the filter here. Nice and gurgly. That's it. Sounds like she's there. Obviously it will take a little bit of time to get to the injectors, so we're going to need to consider that. Right. Come on, battery. Oh, I think my battery that's spare is getting a bit... I'll go and grab another one quickly. Right. Let's try that. Don't sound like that one's any better either, really. Oh, yes! Come on! All the old power steering's whining away. Yes! Yes, come on! Right, steering fluid. Oh, I cannot tell you how happy I am that is running. That is, that is absolutely brilliant. My God. I can't get over that. It's a bit lumpy, I must say. But hopefully that'll clear soon, with any luck. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'll run it up for a bit, and then I'll cut back in, hopefully once I've got it on the ramp, and then we can look at finishing this front end off, and I can show you all the underside as well. We've got to do those prop bolts up, top up the gearbox oil and stuff like that, and we can have a real good look, because unfortunately, obviously, laying on the floor, I wasn't able to show you underneath. Well, we managed to dodge the rain. As you can see, the bumper's a bit wet where it started raining outside. Trying to get the two top bolts here just in place before this thing decides to try and disappear. Let's tuck that up there out the way. I did loosen off the near side headlight here just to give me a bit more wiggle room, so I'm going to do the bumper up so it's roughly where I want it, and then I can put the headlight in nicely in a moment. Sorry if I get in the way, it's probably going to be a bit awkward not to. I will clean this hub as well, and we'll just repeat the same as that on the other side. So hopefully you can hear me, but if you can't, what I will do is I will end up editing all of this, just so I can do a voiceover if needs be. So we're just working our way around, checking for oil leaks, anything out the norm. We did all of this lot up from the underside and all of this bracketry here, plugged all the cabling in. The cabling runs off up here to the gearbox there. Then, as I mentioned earlier today, we had the 6 bolts out for the sump. So you've got 3 along this side, 3 along that side, and the sump pops down. You do need to move this exhaust mount here out the way. We put all that cross member in, that silver bit here that holds the under trays on, the prop shaft bolts up there, so we did all of those up. As you can see, don't seem to have any oil leaks, which is great. Well, now that we've resolved that one that we had earlier. So it's all pretty neatly packaged up in there.